this is tips on job market and observations that I've made with regards to the job market. So I have 21 pointers that I'll just share with you just randomly. Remember, most of them are common sense. So you'll be like, oh, I always knew that. But remember, it's not knowing a point, it's not knowing the knowledge, it's application of the knowledge. Always remember, you might know how to lose weight, eat less, eat smart, do exercise. But how many people actually do that? How many people actually follow the advice? So, knowledge is not power. That's what I tell people. Application of knowledge is power. So, apply these tips, tricks, or strategies that I give you. So, the point that I want to give you is let's start with 21, the top 21 tips. So at 21st, it's not just India and Pakistan and Bangladesh that people are searching for jobs. It's surprisingly from Canada, UK, US, and Europe. Since I think it was mid of June last year, I started to get more of these clients from these places, which has been very surprising. Initially, it used to be mainly people from the Middle East or India. Now it is from Canada, UK, US, Europe. Many of them are trying to get jobs in the Middle East. I think because maybe their own economies are proving to be very difficult. So you're competing with all these people, Asians and foreigners who are coming from these countries. And I'll tell you, they are asking for jobs or salaries that more or less Asians are asking, a little bit higher, and kind of it matches more or less the people who have experience. So just be wary of this. At point number 20 is most of the companies are on survival mode. That is, most of the companies, they don't say this, they don't talk about it, but even if they do have money, they're keeping it safely locked in a bank because there are plenty of check defaults. There are plenty of companies that are not paying, let's say they have to pay the money, they're not paying it on time. So companies are truly on survival mode and they have kept the very basic minimum staff. They are not like aggressively employing new people. However, if they do get someone worthwhile, they do retain or offer them. Point number 19, if you have a job, it's recommended you search for a job. Don't search for a job when you don't have a job. Now, obviously, when you don't have a job, you literally have to go begging. But when you do have a job, you can negotiate. You have the power. You have the ball in in your court. So I would always say when you have a job, let's say you worked in a company for 6 months to 1 year. After 1 year, start looking out aggressively for another job and do not stop, because in order to get a better paying job, it takes normally 1 year to 2 years of really diligent searching. Because remember, it's not just the salary, it is the environment, it is the location, it's a remuneration, it's so many other factors. So I would say that if you have a job and you've worked with the company for 1 year, your contract is for 3 years or 2 years, after the first year is when you should be hunting out for a job. At point number 18, it is salespeople are the ones who get jobs the fastest and lose the fastest. Out of all the people that I've been dealing with, the quickest are sales. People who are in sales normally get job interviews, job offers, and they get employed pretty fast. And I've had the maximum luck where sales are concerned. So that is why I don't talk quite a lot about, oh, this guy in sales, he got a job, because sales is anyone can get if you're pretty aggressive. And if you do not know how to sell yourself, man, then how will you expect to sell a product or service? Point number 17 is the guys with the bigger salaries and more experience, they are the ones who are being terminated first when a company restructures. And it is very challenging for someone who's above the age of 50 to get a job. And above the age of 60, it's nearly impossible to get a job. And I have bumped into these guys who were working for big companies, big positions, really having the power. They were the big dogs, like, in the yard. Nobody could touch them. And once the CEO goes, once the CFO, the finance controller, one by one, the top heads go, all the big salaried guys go, and they bring in cheaper staff. At point number 16, the people who have been losing jobs that I've noticed from January or from last year onwards, that is, let's say October, November, December onwards on a large scale, is finance, purchase, admin, and HR. So these four departments, they have been losing quite a number of people in these departments have been losing jobs for various companies. Um, Number 15 is the companies or the industries that have been impacted the most, especially in the Middle East, are banks, hotels, retails, and financial institutions, even the service sector. Because what is happening there is, um, especially banks, I mean, they were aggressively trying to market and sell products and just take people's money. And now all of a sudden they can't get money to be invested. They are unable to sell. They have just realized that it was just their luck. Good time, good place, good market conditions. They could sell easily. Even if you're dumb, you could sell in millions. But now they're finding it really very hard. So banks, hotels, retails, and the service industry undergo tremendous changes. Point number 14. When you go for an interview and you meet the final decision maker, always keep in mind that he will negotiate with you for your salary. So even if you are, let's say, for example, you are getting $5,000 or 5,000 dirhams and you ask for 6,000, he will still try to negotiate for 5,500. He will try to bring it down. He'll say, after 6 months, we will see, you prove yourself, I'll increase to 7. Do not fall for it. Do not bring it down. Don't budge. Especially when you're at the final interview, just do not budge. When you do not budge is when you get the offer. And some of them can be really hardcore. They'll be saying, okay, then I think we'll have to call it quits. Maybe next time you can work. So take your pride with you. Do not budge, because if you're really good, they will give you the job. Okay. Keep in mind, even if you ask for just 1 dirham or $1, even then the businessman would negotiate with you. Why? Because he is the CEO. He is the owner of the business. He has to keep in mind the fixed overheads. So when you're at the final interview, never ever budge for the price. Point number 13 is, please do not try to impress. Okay, don't try to impress and show style and be cool, but express. Don't impress, but express. Express is where you communicate very level-headed in a very leadership manner what you have to say. But impressing is where you're trying to show off. Do not impress, learn to express. Point number 12 is, do not wear something new or brand new for the first time. So many guys, when I interact with them, I speak to them, I ask them sometimes, okay, dress up on a suit, dress up what you're going to wear for the interview that day and show me. I watch them on Skype, or I watch them on video. I see what they're wearing. I ask them to move. I ask them to interact with me. And always, almost always, the guy who has never worn a suit in his workplace, who wears just an open shirt or let's say a formal shirt but without a tie, I see him fidgeting. I feel him very uptight, uncomfortable. And I asked him, like, do you wear a suit in your workplace? He says no. The person always, tells me no, but I'm trying to make a good impression here. We can make out, interviewers can make out, HR people can make out, decision makers can make out that you are not comfortable in that suit or tie. I would say what you tend to wear every single day at your workplace is what you wear at the interview. Don't overdress for the interview expecting to make an amazing impression, but you're just fidgeting, you're wearing the shoes, you're uncomfortable, or your jacket. If you do want to go in a full suit or with a jacket, make sure that you practice at least 1 month in advance wearing it every single day, so that when you wear it for the interview, that same outfit, you're comfortable in it. Okay. And please avoid putting too much jewelry or perfume. You're not going to a nightclub. Point number 11 is, this is a problem some of our Asians have. They try to put on an accent, or they try to sound intelligent by big words. No, sir, this my vision has been. Just shut the fuck up, man. Come on. So, and please don't put on an accent. Hi, my name is. Who the fuck are you trying to impress? I remember speaking to this young man who he went to the UK just for 1 year, just to complete his degree, and I could make out he was trying so hard to put on this accent. Hi, Lloyd. Hi, my name is. So I asked him. I said, "Did you study in the UK?" Yeah, Lloyd. Yeah, I studied in the UK. So then I said, "So for how many years?" Oh, it was 12 months, like 12, 13 months. And I stayed there for another 2 more months. And then I came down. So I said, can you give me your real fucking accent? Don't give me a put on fucking accent, because the accent that you're born with, your local dialect, your regional dialect that you're born with for 20 fucking years doesn't change in 1 year. Okay. He tried convincing me, but finally he gave up because he realized I wouldn't budge. And I let him know that I don't want to deal with someone who's fake. So either give me a real fucking accent or fuck off. And his real accent came when he said that he could not. So please do not put on a fucking accent. Point number 10 is never, ever, ever underestimate the interviewer. So many people make this mistake. You think you can impress the interviewer. You think you can make an amazing impression. You think you memorize these answers and copy pasted this resume and you can impress the guy. Please keep in mind, the guy meets a fucking candidate every single fucking day of his life. Maybe he meets around 5 candidates a day. He has seen it all. The interviewer, just like, if you're an accountant and you have been doing accountancy for 10 years, a college student cannot impress you with accountancy. You have been selling and you have been doing this for 20 years. Young school, let's say, graduate or college grad cannot impress you in, let's say, sales. In the same way, an interviewer has been conducting interviews, reading people, understanding them, evaluating them for so many years of his life. You can't bullshit with him. So never underestimate the interviewer. He's not a fool. Okay. Point number 9 is interview skills. On that day, you have to be perfect. There is no second take. There's no second chance. You say one wrong word. You say something that should have been said, but you didn't say. You give less than your best. You give your best, but it's not actually the best. There's no second chance. There's absolutely none. You might think your answers are so amazing, so incredible, so fascinating that it'll blow people's mind off. But trust me when I say this, when I mentor people for interviews, they realize where they are and where I position them. In fact, I challenge them. You give me an answer, I will give you an answer much better than yours. So, see, the thing is, because I've been doing this for 11 years, so do not assume that your interview skills are so amazing, so incredible that you can impress anyone. And please keep in mind, there's no second take. So if you fucked it up, it's gone. So please be perfect for that day. Okay? And it takes at least minimum 2 weeks of hardcore practice. And by hardcore, I'm talking of 8 hours every single day for 2 weeks. So it flows, it comes out really beautiful. Okay, I was training this guy who I told you in terms of a senior position. His content, we had framed it, everything, the answers, I'd written it down, I'd asked him to memorize. The challenge I found out for him was he didn't know how to say it. It's not what he said, it's how he said it. For example, if I had to say, hi, my name is Loy, I'm 42 years old, I'm a personal branding strategist. How would you say, hi, my name is Loy Machedo, I'm 42 years old, I am a personal branding strategist. I mean, he was going like so robotic. It was like he was suffocating, he was holding his breath, he didn't know where to breathe, he didn't know how to fucking relax. So after training him, literally, I mean, it was such a fucking headache. That's why I charge a little bit more. We practiced 1 to 2 hours every day because he had his interview coming up, and eventually he got better. So that's what I'm trying to tell you is these skills need to be honed, and that is how they get better. Point number 8 is a resume. Please do not copy paste. Do not write gibberish. Do not use high sounding words. Don't use stuff you not use in your day-to-day life. Okay. Industry jargon, I can understand. But then trust me when I say this, you can make out when someone copy pastes a fucking resume. The other day I was doing this finance controller, this female. She had 9 pages of a fucking resume. 9 fucking pages. I was like, what the fuck is this? And when I went through the paragraph, the first one where she was talking of company, let's say X, the whole fucking paragraph, she has repeated the same fucking thing in a different way. Like, for example, if she is talking about, let's say, conducting company audits, she would drag this like conducting independent audits where checking in each and every department whether they have complied whether there's compliance, what are the rectifications, what are the measures that we need to adopt and all that. So, okay, one big paragraph she has made instead of just writing conducting company audits. Then after 2, 3 points, she would reframe this by saying that always kept a check of processes and procedures of the company, whether they were followed or not, ensured a process optimization, ensured that everyone was on track, sat down with the juniors just to find out. So you are basically saying the same fucking thing of ensuring that the processes were followed, that you are keeping a check, auditing them, okay, making sure everything was followed, but you're writing it in 3 different paragraphs in a single, area where you have to mention what you did in company X. We just bought the whole fucking 9-page CV down to 1.5 page. 1.5 page, which was very, very powerful. Okay. So what I'm saying is don't copy paste a fucking resume. Don't use big sounding words. Don't drag a fucking point. Get to the fucking point. Make it good. Okay. And point number 7, don't think you can wing it. Okay. People think that day they are just going to be amazing. Lloyd, I get so many idiots who come to me and say, Lloyd, just give me one chance. One chance, Lloyd, one chance. Trust me, I will nail the fucking interview. Just one chance. You just introduce me to your clients, Lloyd. You see what I'll do. If you are so fucking good that you could impress the socks out of anyone, why the fuck you are not called for an interview? In my case, I was such a hardcore hustler that people would say, why don't we meet up for a cup of coffee? They would initiate the conversation. They would initiate the meeting. Fine, whether things happened or didn't happen. But the very fact that I was able to market and sell myself, it showed. And that is why when the interview process came, if I wanted the job, fuck, I could really nail it. But this took a period of 20 years skill to hone. So just don't assume that you're God's gift to mankind and you have the ability to talk. Even these YouTube videos, it has taken me years. If you check my previous videos, well, I missed maybe 2,500 videos before. I mean, you look at it, you'll be like, fuck, wow, you are terrible. That's how we improve with time. Point number 6, there is no magic pill, magic company, or magic whatever offer that can solve your fucking problems. People always say, Lloyd, if I pay you money, can you guarantee me a job? Oh, Lloyd, this recruitment company gave me this job. I had this interview on Skype and all that. There is no magic solution. And if something is too good to be true, means someone is taking you for a fucking ride. You have got in touch with a fraud. Be careful. Point number 5. Anytime you ask someone, can you help me for a job? They say, okay, send me a CV. I'll see what I can do. Or let me know. I'll forward it to people I know. Take it from me. If someone asks you to send your CV to them, they never do anything with your CV. They'll just leave it in their mailbox. They will never forward it to anyone. Even if they forward it, nobody's going to read it. So if anyone tells you, I'm going to forward your CV or just send it to me, I'll forward it, they're never going to do anything. So instead, if he says, send me a CV, I'll see what I can do, you tell them instead that, can you give me the name of the person or the company who you're planning to send it to? I will courier it to them or give it to them through my hand using your references whenever they're free, whenever you suggest, so that they have a better impression. And I'll tell you this, when you do this, give it, either by courier or hand delivery or have a personal touch, it has much more impact. And most importantly, when you're asking that person, give me the name, the specific, you know whether the person's lying or taking you for a ride. 99.9%, if the person says, send me your CV, I'll forward it, it's bullshit. Okay, number 4 is your mindset. Stop blaming the fucking market. Oh, the market is down. Lloyd, there's so much of racism. Oh, fuck, there's so much of politics and all that. See, the problem is with you. You have your behavior pattern, your thinking, or your personality. There's something wrong with you in your head. You need to fix that first. And unless you change this aspect of you, you're never going to get a job. So when people say, market is bad, tell me when the market was fucking good. What, 2008? Yeah? And that time you were making money? So the market will always be bad. The market will always be challenging. Times will always be tough. But, hemming and hawing and crying about it is not going to fucking help. Get your socks up. Pull your panties up. Just be a fucking man. Whether market is good or market is bad, you need to achieve your target. You need to get a job. That's how it is. So it's a mindset. Point number 3 is keep this in mind. people take a lot of effort and attention for their marriage, from the wedding card, the quality of the card, the font design, the texture of the card, the design of the card, the photographs, the theme of the wedding card, to the menu. Oh, we'll have continental, or we'll have Chinese cuisine, or we'll have chicken, or we'll have fish, we'll have beef, we'll have starters, we'll have wine, the venue, the DJ, the music. They take care of each and everything, including the cufflinks and even the banyan and underwear has to be brand new. The videographer, the photographer, who are the people? Let me check the list. So much of time, effort, money, patience, dedication goes into a wedding, which lasts only one fucking day. And you get free fucking loaders who come there who will never be there for you on the day that you need them. So that's only one day. But you put 1 year's effort for that one day, for those few hours. But for your fucking career, which is going to be a lifetime, do you take the same amount of effort, the same money? Do you borrow a loan for this? Do you put so much of effort? Do you put so much of interest, passion, mentoring, expertise, professionalism? So just think about it. The amount of effort that you put to show off for a marriage and what you need to put for your fucking career, which defines you. So keep that in mind. Point number two is, please never ever do this. Getting a job does not mean spamming people with bulk mass fucking emails. Dear sir, I hereby send my resume for your kind perusal. Attached is the CV. Please let me know. Looking forward for an interview. Your warm regards and all that shit. Please, it doesn't work. It doesn't fucking work that way. Yes, everyone gets emails, but that doesn't mean they check all the fucking emails. Spamming leaves is only for amateurs. Don't be a fucking amateur. Okay, don't think that, oh, I'm just going to get a job. I'll send 10,000 emails through this and people will be calling me left, right, and center. It never works. And last, if not the least, at point number 1 is, there's always a yin and yang, good and bad, white and black. So if people are losing jobs, there will be other vacancies. It's not like people are only losing jobs unless it's Syria and there's a fucking war. Unless that is the situation, you'll be open to an opportunity. You'll be offered an opportunity for a job. There are jobs. Even though I keep sharing with you news that people are losing jobs, companies are shutting down, there are plenty of other people who are getting jobs. So please keep in mind, yes, there are companies that are terminating other staff, but there are new companies coming up. There are new jobs that are being offered. So these are the 21 tips in terms of the job market, which I hope will help you. Let me know if you have any particular doubts in the comment section below with regards to any of these job related questions. And, if I can, I'll definitely share with you. If it's a generic comment, if it's very specific, obviously you need to take my services. And if you want my services, my rates are there, or you can send me my contact details I mentioned.